Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome. Thank you for watching. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So, this one is about me being astrally on spaceships. Because after I had contact with the deceased, then with the Fey realm and the gnomes, then came the angels, and then came the ETs. To me, there's some kind of order in that, and I'm interested and curious. So after I really kind of got it that we are not alone in this universe, and that there are a lot of other beings in all kind of forms, or even without bodies and things like that. Well, just my whole perspective opened up a little bit. I had this funny experience at a public dem where I had this man in the public sitting, and when I tuned into his auric field, I suddenly got the picture of the pyramids in Giza, and they were like lamps. They were glowing from the inside with white light, and I got instantly, they are energy machines. And then I had to look a little bit aside from the pyramids, and there I saw two ETs standing, and they wanted me to give a message to that guy. And I felt kind of, can I talk publicly about that? How to do that? So I started very cautiously just asking the man, you want to go maybe to Egypt? Are you interested in pyramids and plan a journey to Egypt to see the pyramids, something like that? And he just said, I'm an engineer and I'm interested in ancient technology, which opened all the floodgates, more or less, in me. And I just told him the message, and he went, Chaka, that's what I wanted to hear. So he was already on the look out for something like that. And it was a good confirmation for him. But it left me kind of puzzled. And when I went home after that public dam at 12 o'clock, I started researching in the internet, because these ETs had told me their name, how they are called, and I really found the name, although I have never heard before of the Ebens. But okay, I even found pictures and drawings from other people that saw them or had contact astrally or even physically. So after that, okay, I got it. We have sky people and star families. We are connected in much more ways than we know. So that was kind of the preparing ground for me. And then one night, I suddenly, boom, just like that, found myself on a ship astrally. And I knew I was on a ship. And the funny thing was, I could not look up. It was as if I'm blocked on this eye height. In my size of body, that's nearly 150, and I saw only legs in front of me. So you can assume that the body belonging to the legs is double the size of me, so it must have been 3-meter tall bodies. And there were 4 legs, so 2 persons, and I got that they were male. And I saw that their trousers were kind of like well-fitting overall on their legs, and the legs seemed kind of muscular. So, but I got the male energy anyway, and they were in this this middle blue, a bright blue, but everything where I found myself had this kind of milky white pastel touch, like as if you're in a crystal bowl, or everything is, when you're painting, is mixed with a little bit of white, so that you get this pastel look of the colors. So the blue of their kind of uniform trousers or overalls, which I could see only the legs of, was kind of that blue with a little bit of white in it, so it was not so cracking and strong and bright. It was kind of mild and soft. And what I could see as well was kind of the wall behind them. And there were no 90-degree angles like we built. There was no floor and then the wall starting. It was all kind of smoothly curved, and it was seamless. There was not anything to see that it was built by different constructual parts, like we put parts together and then this forms the wall, or this forms the floor and there's the door and so on. It was just one smooth surface, and it was quite bright. There was a lot of light, not blinding white light, but this kind of gentle milky white light. But there was no source of light, there were no lamps. The light was seemingly coming from everywhere, even from out of the walls, and the walls really looked like crystal balls that you use for making nice sound. It was this milky white surface that seemed to emit light. And I was kind of very puzzled that I couldn't look up. I was so blocked. I tried it, but I couldn't move my head and I couldn't get the eyesight up to see the rest of these two guys. And I was still trying to understand where I was and what this is all about. I got that I'm on a ship and that there were two male, 3 meter tall men with me on the ship to kind of receive me. And then something happened which I disliked. The second thing I disliked. Tell you right now, the first thing I disliked was I was just taken, kind of beamed up, boom, without being asked. That's, to me, is not respecting free will. I was not asked, and I just boom found myself there on the ship. And while I was trying to orientate myself in the situation with these four legs in front of me, I suddenly had the impression that something was crushing onto the ship from the outside, and it felt to me like dark energy. I perceived it as kind of giant spider legs. I know that dark energy can take form sometimes, and I didn't stay to find it out. I just got this impulse. I felt we were attacked in the ship while I was there, and I just boom beamed myself out. I don't even know how to do that, but it worked. When you need it, some things suddenly work in your bigger system. I found myself back in my bed. And I was wondering what kind of experience, what was that about? Was it me attracting the attack, or was it them? Was it kind of my fault, or what was wrong? Why was I attacked being on a ship with obviously guys from maybe upper fourth or lower fifth dimension, because I couldn't look up and couldn't see more of them. So my vision astrally was restricted by my own frequency. And I couldn't find out, but I just disliked this kind of spider attack, and that I was not asked to come. And sometime later, more or less the same thing happened again. I was just boom on a ship, and I knew it was the same ship I was on the first time, the first experience I just told you. But this time I was not in a room, like an artificial room on a ship. I was on the, how do you call that? I know, I don't know where I know this from, but I know because I've been there. They also have real landscape in their ships. They have just one deck or one level where they have waterfalls and trees and grass and everything because they need to relax as well and get charged by nature energy. So they have some kind of bio area in their ships. And I was in this area. It looked like a giant park. I couldn't see an end to it when I looked afar into the distant. It was just landscape, landscape, and they had everything. There was a waterfall, there were trees, there was grass, and I was there and just beamed in or popped in into a circle of other people. And these ones did not appear 3 meter tall to me. They seemed just the same height like me, in my normal 1 meter 70 size that I have here on Earth. And we were standing in a circle in this wonderful green landscape on green grass. And everybody, even me, suddenly had on a long chain some kind of crystal that was right before the heart or the solar plexus area. And I looked down at that crystal I suddenly had there dangling. And when I looked up again, all the others also had this kind of crystal. And they started chanting and singing in chorus, just tones and finding harmonies. And that's just my happiness, my passion, my love. I could not resist, so I joined in without disturbing, trying to find harmonies that match theirs. And so I brought myself in music and sound. It was just wonderful, and I loved it. And it was quite high energy and everything fine and beautiful. And then I suddenly had to look down at my crystal, and I saw that it started to glow and emit light. The crystal was kind of being activated or alive and started to glow and shine light. And when I looked at the others in the circle, singing and toning with me together, or I with them, all their crystals also started to glow in different lights because everybody had a different crystal with a different color. So the glow was in line with the color. It was red and green and blue and violet and yellow and orange and, all kinds of colors. And I liked that. And then we came to an end in our chorus toning. And boom, I found myself back in my bed again. And I was kind of very curious. I wanted to know with whom I was. So I was longing for a name. I could not ask them, "Who are you?" as I usually do, and "What do you want?" Because I popped into the ceremony, and the first time I popped into this room, and boom, we were attacked by this spider kind of creature, or spider legs. I perceived it as giant spider legs. And I came back into my bed really with a name. And I researched that name, and I could not really figure out the information because there's, of course, polar information. One says this group with a special name. I came back. There are rogue Nordics that trick you and whatever. Others say, oh, they're belonging to the Galactic Federation. And a channeler said, I channeled them for 3 years and it's all a lie, all made up. So, on this level, with the logics, you can't find an answer. And I pondered over that for myself, and it's just whatever happened. I mean, I know that giant spider creatures exist because I heard someone else talk about it. Tony Rodriguez talked about his experiences in the secret space program, and that he was trained with other children to fight against giant insects, e.g., a giant spider creature. And I also had another experience before this on the spaceship experience. I mean, who likes spiders? I really admire people who like spiders. I feel some kind of repel, and I found is interestingly enough, I found in Rudolf Steiner's work something written in one of his books where he was talking about that spiders only have more or less a toe dipping into the bathwater of 3D reality, and the bigger part of them is living on the astral. And there they are more or less 8 times bigger than the body that appears here in the material world. So that helped me to understand why I always go kind of woman like if I see a spider, "Ooh," and I could never control this kind of shriek or shouting out when I see one of the bigger spiders, the dark ones, the big ones, this size, that are in the cellar and running towards you with 8 legs very fast. I always cry out like, ah! And it makes a lot of sense to me now because women are astrally perceptive because we're negatively polarized, means not negative, but being receptive. So you perceive via feeling the real size of the spider. And that's why men who are not receptive in the astral, they are receptive in the mental, have less problems usually to remove a spider. So I once was suddenly in some kind of cave, and as I looked around in this cave, there were giant spiders, like from the former horror films, arachnophobia and things like that, really 3 or 4 times the size than me in my material body. Spiders walking in this cave towards me, and not only one, it was just a whole front of them, a lot. And I got kind of scared because spiders. It's like feeling like the friend of Harry Potter in the movie where they learn how to defend against dark entities by using defense mechanisms. And then there is this closet where there is an energy being in there that always takes the form of your greatest fear. So I don't even remember the name of Harry Potter's friend, the red-haired guy, his best friend. He was afraid of spiders, and when the closet opened, of course, this being took the form of a spider, and the mechanism to defend yourself against the fear that it causes, and it feeds off from your fear and even manifests more into what you fear. To put something into the situation that makes it ridiculous or changes it, however. So Harry Potter's friend put on roller skaters onto all the 8 legs of the spider. So the spider was going like that and everybody was laughing. So that being poof went back into the closet because it didn't work. And I found myself in front of these spiders, and luckily they stopped in front of me, not too near. They left 3 meters or so. And I could breathe and I could confront and face them and ask them, okay, what do you want? Who are you? Why am I here? And they said, we only have one message for you, dear. You know, giant horror creatures talking to me, dear, addressing me as dear one. That was interesting. And they said, if you dislike something, look at it very closely to understand about your dislike. Wow, that was interesting. And it stuck with me. And since then, I look not away from things I dislike, but I look at them with this kind of, I want to understand. And now I understand more, and I'm really grateful for that advice they gave me, although they were kind of scary figures. And as there is always light and shadow, there are positive spider beings and maybe also negative spider beings. I'm still not sure about the attack, whether it really was a spider or just dark energies that I perceived like spider legs crushing in onto the ship. But still remaining is point one. I wasn't asked, I was not invited, I was just taken. And point two, even in this ceremony, which sounded beautifully because of the vocals and the toning, I wasn't explained anything. I had no chance to ask a question. What are we doing here? For what purpose are we chanting? Because I don't want to participate in things that have a bad intent. And although it felt good, I was not content with these 2 times being overstepped in my borders and my free will. And I left it like that because it's still not totally resolved for me. Usually I don't talk about the unresolved things because it's not helpful to speculate with thinking about what this might have meant and blah, 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 because that's only head. You have to really understand in your feeling, in your heart, the story and what's the message of that. So I'm still working on that, but it's got 2 criteria that to me are negative. I wasn't asked, I wasn't invited, I wasn't explained anything. So I still dislike that. And then after that happened a real invitation that showed to me, okay, I'm right with my 2 criteria I disliked, because it can also happen in a different way. I was another night in my bed, and before sleeping, I do some breath work, or sometimes I meditate a little bit. And I've suddenly felt a presence in my bedroom, and I noticed 2 beings there, a male and a female, which makes much more sense to me because usually there's some kind of unwritten protocol, even for the star family or people from the secret space program and so on. Whatever mission they're on, usually they have a woman with them, because if you meet scared beings or you have to rescue somebody, you need the female energy to calm down the other one that's in fear or scared or whatever. So they don't come with 2 men like in the first being on a ship. And I noted that and found it very interesting, and I noted it positively that it was a male and a female. And I addressed to them, just checking out shortly from my breathwork and saying, I know you're there, I notice you, but I would like to finish my breathwork. Give me 1 minute, then I'm back with you again. And they said, no problem, that's what I got. Just finish your thing and we'll wait silently without disturbing. So I finished my breath work, and I noted that they respected me and my borders, which is a positive sign to me. And then when I finished my breath work, I addressed to them again and I said, okay, who are you? What do you want? And I got names. I only remember the name of the male one, but that's okay. The names are not that important. And they said, we would like to invite you to come astrally with us to our ship. And I said, okay, thank you. I want to come. And they told me who they are. And they said they wanted to show me something. So I was informed and I got my questions answered, the few ones I had at that time, at that moment. And then there was kind of a white column of light, a white beam array coming down, and they were stretching out their hand as if to help me to beam up with them into this kind of a light beam. And I suddenly went like a little child saying, no, I want to do it on my own. And they just smiled at me and took back their hands, and I tried it. And really, boom, a second later, I was on the ship with them in that kind of arrival room. And then I said, okay, so now what do you want to show me? What is this all about? And they only did this, come, follow us. And they led me through some corridors into a room where I was shown a body in stasis. It was a big glass kind of tube thing, and it was filled with a liquid, and the body in there was with closed eyes and was sleeping. But it did not have a human head. It had feline features, and I, standing in front of that body, instantly knew with every cell, that's me. I had no problem to integrate that because I always loved cats, and it even happened to me when the cat of my neighbor some time ago recently died and I was present. Unfortunately, I couldn't help that little guy. I loved him so much. But they don't have problems, the animals. They know where they're from and they know where they're going to. In an instant, they don't think of hell and things like that. They don't know any concepts. They're just not thinking about things like that. They know they're from the light and they go back to the light. So death to them is not such a big deal like to us. And when he died and I was present, suddenly, boom, I saw a 3 meter tall kind of tiger figure standing on two legs, on two paws, and he was kind enough, he was dressed in a golden armor, like with metal breastplates and things like that. He looked like a kind of warrior. And I liked him. I really loved him. And suddenly I understood, wow, that was part of the soul of the cat. So there was not only the cat, there was someone else incarnated into that cat as well. And he allowed me to see his real form. And now I know that there are tiger and lion beings, and also kind of human feline mixture, hybrid creatures. So that second visit astrally on a ship was really fruitful for me because I understood something about myself, and I got some explanation and I was shown something. And then even this what I tried years and years ago in the mirror meditation, just without moving the eye and the side, staring in the mirror at me for minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes. And then after the Rococo wig heads appeared and I found out that they were because the mirror was antique and I used a new one. I saw this kind of lion face with feline features in the mirror. And at that time, many years ago, I could not make sense of that. But when I was at the ship and saw this feline face body in stasis, everything suddenly made sense. So, these are my two most important experiences on astral traveling on ships. And I want to leave you with that. Hope you get some ideas or inspiration or other viewpoints. However, whatever, I just want to share some of my experiences to maybe help, because other people also have kind of experiences and it's sometimes quite hard to find out what this all means. And we're all on this way to find out more about ourselves and our connections, maybe not only with the nature realms and nature beings or elemental beings, but also with kind of what we call sky beings or star families. Because we have been incarnated in other star systems on other planets, and a lot of people now find these old connections, or they see UFO while others don't see them. So there's a lot of things waiting for us to be discovered. I wish you all the best, dear souls. Thank you for watching. Blessings, love, and light onto your path. Bye.